There was a video on the channel here that recently went viral, somewhat viral for me anyways. And it was talking about lightning addresses, Bitcoin lightning addresses. And basically the point of it, I said everybody should be out there rushing to claim your unique lightning address. Just like everybody did, or they didn't, I guess they should have. I should have back in the day when people were claiming email addresses and domains. Well, the newest version of that is the lightning address. And when I made this video, I shared a lightning address called Speed. And I'm going to explain here in a couple minutes of why I've stopped recommending Speed Wallet. There's a couple of reasons which I'm going to share. And I'm also going to share some different alternatives for Speed to accomplish the same kind of thing here. So again, just like domains where you could claim your unique domain name where people could find your business or whatever you're doing, it was effective to have a very short and concise and easy to type and read everything. It made a difference for domains. And of course, once they're all gone, people started paying a lot more for them. It was the free market. And there's still very short websites now that sell for a lot of money because they're short and concise and easy for people to find. And just like email addresses, if you could find an email address that was just your name or your name and last name, pretty rare nowadays. So we're kind of going through the same thing with lightning addresses now. And lightning is going to be very similar to what email did in the sense that you could send an email to anybody else in the world. You would send data or you'd send a message or a communication. With lightning, though, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to be sending money to each other over the lightning network. And so when you claim your own lightning address, it's a way for people to send money to you. So you want it to be short and sweet, concise, easy to read, easy to pronounce out loud. So I told people to use the Speed wallet. And recently I've had a couple different run-ins with Speed, not personally with the company, but just a few instances where I thought it was worth talking about on here because it's misaligned with what I agree with myself. So one of the things that Speed has been pushing a lot lately, and you might have seen this yourself if you're a Speed wallet user, is that they're trying to get people to KYC themselves, which essentially means they want people to upload their identification, their real name, real first name, last name, phone number. And that should never be the case with a Lightning wallet. You should never be using a Lightning wallet that's forcing you to put in your name into there. It totally defeats the purpose of it. So that's the first one. I don't think they've stopped allowing people who aren't KYC'd yet to use it, but I'm guessing it's coming. The other part too that really shook me up is that I have been using my Speed wallet. I use it pretty much every day, or I was using it every day. And I started using Proton VPN just for playing around with testing and things like that. And I forgot that I had it on. And I went to log into my Speed app and it just wouldn't even open for me. It just would not open. And so to me, I'm not a big technical guy, as I'm sure most people watching the channel know. But to me, that would be something in the background that Speed would have to actually implement themselves, I'm pretty sure, to block any sort of VPN address, which means to me, again, a very non-technical guy, it means that they want to see exactly your IP address that you're sending Bitcoin from, which I do not agree with at all. And so I turned my VPN off, logged into my Speed wallet, and it worked right away. I thought I needed to update the app or something was wrong on my end, but it was just because of the VPN. And so just knowing that to me is a company that does not align with what I believe in. And so therefore, because there's so many different options out there for Lightning wallets, I'm just going to stop using it. And so I just want to kind of clear the air to set the record back straight here. I do not recommend people use Speed anymore. Up until this point, I think they were a great wallet, very easy to onboard people, very quick. You could claim your own username, but I have decided myself to stop using it, and I would encourage others to do the same. If you're kind of in the same camp as me, that you don't think it's right that they're asking for that information. So very simple spreadsheet here. No Speed wallet. The ones I do suggest people use are Wallet of Satoshi. Wallet of Satoshi for me has been the best, most reliable wallet. I've been using it for several years now, and I can't remember one single issue I've had with Wallet of Satoshi. The only downside that they have is that you have to pay about 10,000 sats and do a little bit of work to claim your own unique name. So when you download a Wallet of Satoshi wallet, they'll give you a username like White Dog 85 at Wallet of Satoshi. So that's what they give you for free. It's just kind of a random two names put together with a number on it. That's your address. So a lot of people use that. There is a way where you can actually customize your Wallet of Satoshi, but you essentially have to send an on-chain transaction with it, which is going to cost you like a couple thousand sats. And I think you have to do something else too. So it's doable. It's just not really that easy for a brand new person to start using, but it's not that hard. So this would be probably my top recommendation. And I'm pretty sure they're actually back in the United States now. They took a few years off with the Biden administration, but they're back in the US now, I believe. The second one here, actually, Wallet of Satoshi 2, you can use in a non-custodial way now, which means you can essentially run your own node with Wallet of Satoshi in a more private way. I haven't done that myself yet, so I don't want to speak on it, but it is possible now, I believe, with Wallet of Satoshi. Rizful is another one I started using recently. And there's definitely a couple downsides with Rizful. Number one, I think the main issue that I have is when I use it on my phone here, the scanner itself doesn't read QR codes, which is pretty inconvenient. But it's a great first wallet for somebody. And I'm pretty sure they've patched it or probably will be patching it in the future. It's kind of a fairly new wallet. So you can get that from rizful.com. I'm going to have all these links for Wallet of Satoshi, Rizful, and Koinos just to their website if you want to go download a wallet, or you can just search them in the App Store on your phone. So Rizful is my second choice, I would say, because again, you can customize your username. It's very quick, very reliable. The only downside I find is the QR code scanner on here. It doesn't work very well. The next one here is Koinos or CoinOS. And it's the same kind of thing. I would say it's very comparable to Rizful in terms of the UI, the UX, in terms of the interface and the experience that people have. Pretty easy to use. You can customize your address. Very simple to set up. It actually could not be more simple. And CoinOS has done a really good job of being simple to use, of pushing Bitcoin adoption, and getting new merchants and businesses accepting Bitcoin. So I really like CoinOS. I'm a big fan of them. So I have all three of these myself. Jor at Wallet of Satoshi, Jor at Rizful, Jor at Koinos. I don't know who's going to be the winner, so I'm just going to place my chips on all of them and see which one turns out. If I had to guess, I would say Wallet of Satoshi will be the most well-known wallet in the future. And so that's the one I would kind of position myself around and have. And that's the one that I probably use the most. So with that in mind, the other thing that I would say, a couple different things here, is number one, these are all custodial wallets, which means it's basically just an IOU. You don't actually own the Bitcoin. You do and you don't. It'd be very similar to you going down to the bank and depositing $1,000 into the bank, and you're probably going to get it, but there's a chance that you don't. It's basically you're relying on the bank to make good of their promise that is in fact your money there. And it's the same kind of thing with Custodial. So they are actually the custodians of the Bitcoin, and you're just allowed to kind of send sats back and forth on the Lightning Network using their services. So again, both with Wallet of Satoshi and CoinOS, you can actually run a non-custodial wallet if you have the technical know-how to do that. But for the most part, the basic version of these are all custodial. So in other words, do not keep large sums of sats on here. I usually, once I get to about 25,000, 50,000, I usually just move it out to my Aqua wallet, which I'll also link in the show notes. Basically, I use Aqua as kind of just a placeholder in between a custodial wallet and my cold storage. So I move it from the custodial wallet into my Aqua wallet. And then once I get a big enough balance in there, I swap it on to layer one, and then I move it to my cold storage. So this kind of stuff is great if you're using something like Bitcoin Well, River, Bull Bitcoin, basically where you can set up recurring buys for small amounts. You could do like $5 a day, $50 a week. And then you send it from Bitcoin Well to this address. This is what you have to put in here. So if you were getting a Bitcoin Well account, you would put your Lightning address. Lightning address at lightning.com. That's what you would put in there. And that's how they would find, where the sats would go to. So you have to have a static Lightning address if you want to set up like a recurring buy using Lightning, which is much more efficient for privacy, much more efficient for UTXO management, and a much better way to compound sats over time. So my personal technique for buying Bitcoin is I'll do a smash buy a couple times a week whenever I get fiat, but I also have a couple recurring buys set up in the background. And all those recurring buys, they're smaller amounts, like 20 bucks a week or 50 bucks a week. They all go directly into my Lightning address here. And then I use Aqua to kind of, as a holding tank there. And then once the balance gets big enough, I send a UTXO to my cold storage. So that's kind of the breakdown of how to do it. I got a bunch of different videos on this on the Visionary School community and on the Maple Bitcoin School community as well. If you're looking for some different strategies and different techniques for buying, believe it or not, there are different ways to buy Bitcoin. And I made a lot of mistakes early on in my Bitcoin journey of buying Bitcoin the wrong way, creating way too many UTXOs, spending way too much in transaction fees. I can't even imagine how many sats I burned just by being uneducated on the topic. So I want to help other people here now to save you some cash from my mistakes, or sats, I should say. So this is Arnie's wallet here. This is a wallet, a Satoshi wallet. If you enjoyed this, if you learned anything, if you got any value from it, you can return the favor there to Arnie Boy. That's his insurance fund. Or you can send it to jor@rizful.com. So we got wallet, Satoshi. We got Rizful. And if you're already using Lightning, you can send a couple sats to support the channel here and keep us sponsor free. And if you've never used Lightning before, I highly, highly encourage you at least claim your username. You don't have to send a bunch of sats. You don't have to be using it all the time. But at the very minimum, get your name, get your business name, get your pet's name, whatever that is. But just claim these while they're still available, because they're not going to be available for very much longer. So it's the gold rush into Lightning wallets, Lightning addresses. That's what I got for you today. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.